everyone, Tara back, and I am sitting here with Mahi for the third time, I think. And today we're talking about all kinds of good information. Mahi, did you want to just remind the viewers, who you are and what it is that you do, just in case nobody knows?
Okay, well, I'm an energy healer, emotional healer. So I do help people let go of emotions, of patterns, of all that we're carrying that's not necessarily ours to carry, to help to lessen the load and move forward lighter and have more joy and more ease in our life. So that's one of the things that I do. Yeah.
Perfect. And so today, I'm really excited to be talking to you about this because I feel like you're the perfect person to chat with about this. And we're going to start with emotions. And I'm just going to kind of let you take it from there and you chat about what it is that you feel you want to share. And then if I have questions or whatever, I'll jump in.
Okay, that works for me. Okay, so we've touched on the last, we did talk about emotions in the last two interviews we've had. And I wanted to get back into the emotions, because when we react and being in confinement and with all the fear that we're feeling around the world and around us and within us, there's a lot of reactions that are there that doesn't serve us, that doesn't help us to just go through the day smoother and be more in harmony, like around with our kids, with our husband, or if we're alone with ourselves.
Yeah.
So when we react, if I'll give you an example of something that happened. I won't go into details, but this week there was things that my husband was doing, and I was just like, ooh, ooh, and it would just like get to me, and then I would get snappier, and then I would find fault in this and this and this and this and that. So when I get to that point, and I've been there before, what I do, what I realize, and I stop myself, I go, okay, stop, girl. It's all about you. It's not about him.
Right.
So what can I do? The only thing I have control over is my emotions and what I do with them.
Yeah.
Like how I react, or how I keep holding them, or if I want to choose to release them. So for me, as soon as I can do that, doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
Or a lot less. And then I can even start seeing the good and the quality and the things that he's doing that are right instead of things that are not right. So for me, it's that's a big game changer when I find that I'm nagging, or that I find, okay, get back to you, get back to clearing that for you, and then it allows space for more.
So how do you do that?
Well, remember I did the shake it off 2 weeks ago, and then last week I went with the flower, the dandelion, the fluff.
Yeah.
I just have all of this that's there, and I just go. And there's other ways as well. Maybe you do have other ways that you've learned over the years. Just use whatever you have. Could be writing. It could be by moving, by doing an exercise, or going for a walk if you can. It could be different ways that you can do it that will just release some of the tension there. But if those are things that come back all the time, that means that there's a root emotion that's there. Whether it's abandonment, there's a lot of different ones that are there that are red buttons. For me, I grew up with abandonment. That was until I finally realized that, and then I cleared that. And now I don't have that sense of abandonment, even when I'm alone, or even when people turn me away. I still, I am me. I don't have to have that validation. So just to share an experience that I had this week, I have somebody that I spoke with in the Montreal area, and she asked me to do a clearing of energies for her home and all that. And she was mentioning that her parents had been taken to the hospital. They were in their late 70s, early 80s, and they had COVID, or the coronavirus. So she asked me if I could do some energy work distant. So I did some. And remember I was saying to send love and light? That's what I did. I just sent love and light. Every time I would think about them, I would send that. In my old days, what that would have done, I would have worried, I would have been cried, and I would have been obsessed about all of this. But what can I do right here, right now, is just send love and light. That's what I can do. And I heard he got better. The dad got better, but then he passed away yesterday morning. So I was on the phone when she got the news that he had 48 hours left. And when she came back on the phone, she was just crying. And it was just like, and these are emotions. And we are humans. We do have emotions.
Yeah.
So I could have taken all that on. I was still, what's the word? I had compassion, and I listened to her, and that's what I told her. I said, when she heard that he only had 48 hours, just send love and light. That's the energy that will reach him to help accompany, even if you cannot be there physically.
Yeah.
So she said it helped a lot. And then he passed yesterday, and I told her, I just sent her a note saying, I'm still sending love and light to all of you, because it's not easy. So, and it's the first or the second person that I know that have a really close encounter with, or close, an encounter with coronavirus. So it is scary, but at the same time, I can go into that space, or I can choose not to, and then contribute in a way that can be beneficial for them. So for me, that was a big moment, or lot of big moments this week for that. What was the other one? Okay, the thing about the worrying.
Because that's what we touched on that last week a bit, and decided we wanted to go into it a little bit more about the worry, because worry creates so many emotions as well, right? So at the bottom of a lot of, some anger, frustration, all that kind of stuff comes the worry.
Yes. So the worry, I was at a concert about 10 years ago, the Whale and Jenny's, and it was a very intimate concert. And one of the singers, she said, I used to worry all the time. Since she was a little kid, she worried all the times. Until she was pregnant for twins, and she met a gentleman, and he said, did you know that worrying is like praying for what you don't want? When I heard that, right there and then, it just hit me, and it just as a truth and as a wow. I really love that, because it's about, when you think of energy, what you're sending out there, what I was saying earlier was that you send out worry vibes. So what they do is all this worry charged energy. So for her, she stopped worrying from that day on. And a few days later, what I heard on a podcast, it was a medium that was receiving a lot of clients, and he said, I keep having grandmothers come to see me. And they keep, and grandfathers, but mostly grandmothers, and they keep saying, what can I do to help my grandson? What can I do? So worried about them. What can I do to help? And he would tell them, did you know that by worrying, you actually harm them? And they went, no, we love them. We want to help. So they said, what can we do then? If I don't worry, that's all I know to do. So he said, how about sending them love? Just send them love every time you think about them, so that what they receive is that energy. Everything is an exchange of energy. So how about focusing on staying in that love, acknowledging what we're feeling? And sometimes if we scream, or if we, there's different ways of expressing it.
Yeah.
but bring back to just the essence of who we are, which is love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
That
brings back
makes me think of the quote, I believe it's Tony Robbins, who says, where focus goes, energy flows. Right. So what we focus on is what we're sending energy towards. So worrying about what could happen or potentially happen or all of those kinds of things is where you're expending your energy. And then that in turn is what circulates back.
Yeah, and circulates back, and as well, yeah, because you get all that stuck in, and then you're bringing in more. Because every time that you think about something, or if you go to bed at night, I'll give you another little tool that really works for clients. If you go to bed at night and you can't sleep, and all of a sudden you're thinking about, okay, your daughter or people that you love, with things, situations, and stuff, and then one thought comes, right? And then you expand, like it's like a little nucleus, and then you have all this, like the spider around it with all the different scenarios. But then you think of all of that, and then you live all of the emotions of that scenario, and then you go on to the next, which is usually worse. It doesn't go less usually. It just expands and expands. So all of that, it's almost like a train wreck. Like you're just like going until you just crash, until there's just no more. So when you go to bed at night, or it could be in the daytime, I remember I mentioned being a bystander, being a witness to what's happening. So if you do that when you go to bed, we can't stop thoughts. We are humans and we think. So when you're going to bed and you think there's something that comes, if you're looking at it, I'll just take the analogy of the train, since we're talking about trains. If you're on the side of the road and you hear the train coming, and at one point you start seeing that train, and you see it, and then it's in front of you, and then it's there, and then it's out of view. So if you do that with the thoughts, the thought can be there, or the worry or whatever, it can be there, but it doesn't have to stick to you. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to. We have enough things to do in a day, or in a lifetime, than to have to take everything apart. And so if you just witness it, we mentioned it with the boat the last time, with the sailboat. So you could just do that with the thoughts, and then okay, it's gone. You still haven't done anything with it. And oh, okay, it was just a thought. So energy, that's what energy is. It needs to move. It needs to circulate. So when we stop it, we're trying to contain it, and the body's not made for that. Forever.
And that's actually a really empowering thing to learn. I went to a retreat many years ago, and we worked on meditating. And when you're meditating, a lot of thoughts come and go, right? And the idea is to just let them pass. And knowing that you are not your thoughts, right? Because we tend to attach I am statements to our thoughts, right? So if fear passes through or whatever, I am scared, I am angry, right? So we attach I am statements to our thoughts and emotions. But when you can take a step back and look at it more as a bystander and say, like, okay, like just let your thoughts come in and out and not grab onto them. It's very empowering to know that you actually have that much, I want to say, control.
The choice to.
Choice over what you take as real.
So that helps a lot. That helped a lot of clients, even when I was doing massage, orthotherapist, massage therapy. I would give that tool way back then, 20 years ago, to my clients, and they would come back and they say, you know what, it works. And what is important, you'll remember the next day. Don't worry about having to hold everything. It'll be there for something important. Another thing that we could touch on maybe the next time would be the energy of the words we use. Because we could go into that subject. What I want to encourage you to do is to find ways of anchoring yourself. What is anchoring? In energy, we say to be grounded, a bit like a tree that's grounded to the center of the earth. But for many people, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't relate to that. For a lot of people, they do, or it's something that we try and do and try and root ourselves to the center of the earth, and it's something that it takes a lot of energy to just go and do.
Yeah.
But there's other ways that you can just anchor. If you're on the boat and you anchor, what does it do? It keeps the boat in one place. It might move a little bit on the water, but it keeps it one place. So instead of being all scattered everywhere, find ways to anchor yourself. There's different ways of anchoring yourself. There could be your breathing. So by just taking breath, and you don't have to take the big 3-step yoga breath and all that. You can just breathe. Take 3 breaths. And it could even be with your eyes open as you're looking at something. 3 breaths, and then what it does, and I probably mentioned it before, it brings you back to the present, to the now. Another way is touching or holding something. It could be a plant. It could be an object that you like. It could be if you're into semi-precious rocks, or if you have an object at home, or a teddy bear, or something that speaks to you, that you want to use as your anchor. When you put your hand on that rock or on that thing, then it does anchor you. I just do that, and I feel the grounding or the anchoring. Another thing that you can do is, I don't know, when you touch an animal, a cat, that's an anchor. Because when you're touching the cat like that, are you everywhere? Or you're keep the intention where the hand is touching the cat. And then you have the body breathing, you have the purring, you have all of that happening. So that's another way. You could do, if you're taking a bath and you're like the head is going 1,000 miles a minute, what you can do is just take a sponge or a face cloth and just use some of the hot water, just dip it in the water and just bring it on your face to touch, and then on your body as well. And that physical, bring it on your skin and all that, and focusing on it will bring it down as well, will anchor you. If you don't like taking baths and you don't have a pet and you don't have life plans or whatever, it doesn't have to be something set in stone, but we always have our bodies, and we have our hands, and we have our bodies. So how about just touching yourself, touching yourself, your head, and then you can go to your temples, your face, and you can go here, and then you can move to your neck, and then your ears. The body, the hair, it's nice too, but it's not skin on skin. So, and then the ears, and then you can go the back, and then you can go down the arms. You don't have to, even I have clothes here, but I can just go like this and just go down the arms like that, and then do the other side. And it calms you down. It calms you down. So you can do that. And if you're worried about something, you could always just wash it off like that as well. That's another way that you can do, just brush it off. You don't want to just pitch it away, because it'll come back. But if you just let it go gently like that, with the flower, as with the shake it off, or the anchoring of that, it will help you.
I find anchoring works really well, especially when things are really chaotic, so when you're trying to get the kids through their schooling, or you've got 12 people asking you for things or whatever, and you're starting to feel that rise in whatever frustration or whatever it might be, to just take a minute and even just grab the countertop and anchor back to the here and now, so that you can bond in a way that's more in tune with your heart than with a response to the chaos, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I find anchoring is really helpful, especially with everything that's going on right now in the world. Anchoring to the here and now is probably one of the most effective things that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I understand, there's something else that you wanted to share at the end.
Yeah, I just want to share a poem that I wrote in 2000.
Yeah.
And it's called Take the Time. Take the time for just a moment. Yesterday and tomorrow no longer be. I am here, no less, no more. Take the time in today's fast pace of life, even at home, to appreciate this moment and be a witness of my life. Taking the time to tune in to all my senses, like a small child, without stopping at every thought. Taking the time to hear the silence, in itself a song, an enigma, or a dance. Taking the time to enjoy my life. For a few minutes, I offer them to myself. It's free. So just enjoy taking the time for you within the chaos, and as you take the time for you, you'll have more time for others.
Yeah.
And you'll be in a better state of being, not a state of mind, but a state of being for others. And show them to do the same things. Teach the kids how to do that, and they will use it. They like having a rock that they picked or something to anchor themselves. They like doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And as I was saying before, they'll remind you.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
they will. Definitely. Thank you so much for that. And we will definitely set up another time to chat about some of the other stuff that we've talked about. So yeah, thanks again.
You're so welcome. And just hang in there. 6 weeks, but we're doing really good. So if you take care of yourself and take care of not letting all these emotions, all these charges of emotions take over, and the more you do that, you release a lot of the stuff, the more this is going to be a new normal for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so enjoy the gift of you here today.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.